Hi, I'm Larry Barker, President and CEO of Machias Savings Bank. I'm also an entrepreneur, small business owner, husband and father of 5 amazing children, and someone who grew up in Down East Maine, got my degree here in Maine at UMM, and chose to stay here to live, work, and raise a family. Today, I am ultimately responsible for over 300 employees, over $1 billion of customers' money, home loans, business loans, and personal loans. Yes, it took a lot of work to get here. And yes, I'm referring to learning new things and putting in long hours. But I also mean work on me as an individual and doing the often hard things to develop myself into the best person I could be at every given moment. And that journey isn't over. So I'd like to share some of my experience, including overcoming barriers, as well as some personal insights. Let me start by saying I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, there were many very challenging times for me and my family. My relationship with my alcoholic father wasn't very good, and my mother had to work long hours to keep food on the table. Probably my first best decision was to believe that those challenging circumstances would not get in the way. Quite the opposite, actually. Those challenges would be like jet fuel to propel me forward. So starting out with nothing but ambition, just a few years older than you all, our biggest barrier initially was capital. We didn't have any money. And when I say we, I mean me and my wife. What we did have was a very strong work ethic and a commitment to maintaining great personal credit from day one. Both ended up serving us very well. We would ultimately leverage our impeccable personal payment history to access the credit we needed to fund various entrepreneurial ventures. Real estate, rental properties, a clothing store, a self-storage facility, a blueberry harvesting and farming operation, a car wash, a boarding kennel for dogs, 2 motels, and an inn. So far. So lack of capital was an early barrier, but we recognized it and mapped out a solution. Building credit and outworking everybody in sight. What I came to discover, however, was that this wasn't my biggest obstacle. I'll be honest, when I look back, it's clear. I was my single biggest obstacle. I spent way too much time in my head thinking and worrying about failure. What a waste of time. My EQ, or emotional intelligence, wasn't where it needed to be. You see, what I've come to know, fact, is failure isn't that bad. And in fact, it's necessary. Your greatest growth will come from your mistakes, not your successes. So get out of your own way. There is nothing you can't accomplish. And really, there are very few barriers that you can't overcome. Now, it sounds really easy, huh? Well, you don't just make a decision to get out of your own way, but rather you make a decision to do the work, to grow and invest in your personal growth and development every day. Every single day. You use grit, determination, persistence. You never give up and you never give in. Shifting gears a little, as president and CEO of the 5th largest community bank in Maine, from Portland to Caribou, and just named the best large company to work for in Maine, I didn't get here overnight. I've been at Machias Savings Bank for 29 years. I've been president for the last 9. And I would say that the lack of growth in Maine, coupled with the significant level of competition in this industry, has been the biggest challenge I've faced as CEO. How do you gain new customers and grow a bank in a state that hasn't had much growth? If our state was going to have little, if any, growth, then we would have to be good enough to gain market share and grow regardless. So how could we do that? We would have to be good enough to attract great employees and customers. And so we focused intently on what we could control. Our acquisition strategy was to acquire the best talent and the best customers from the competition. And we knew that we could only raise the bar on customer experience as high as we had raised it with employee experience. And so we focused on being a really great place to work. The result? We were recently named the best, the number one large company to work for in Maine, and the fourth best bank to work for in the nation. It's not surprising that happy employees contribute to happy customers. We also focused on providing an exceptional customer experience. Ultimately, a focus on employee experience and customer experience, built on a solid foundation of being a purpose-driven company, has contributed to the doubling of our assets from $900 million to $1.8 billion in the last decade alone. In just last year, our employees volunteered over 12,000 hours, and we gave over $800,000 to more than 700 Maine nonprofits. And that has contributed significantly to our individual and collective sense of purpose. And having a greater sense of purpose goes a long way toward being happy in your work. So again, it was about recognizing the obstacles, identifying a solution, and executing.